Idiosyncratic, thy name is Lanthimos.
One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, joy of the tales of the town. Gay they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer.
Ooh, baby, do I love me some Yorgos Lanthimos.
His movies are some of the most surreal yet intriguing pieces of cinema you'll ever watch. Devoted to being idiosyncratic and wholly his own style, I recommend pretty much his whole catalogue, but I find his scariest movie to be The Killing of a Sacred Deer. The story is loosely based around the play Iphigenia in Aulis by Euripides, in which Agamemnon must sacrifice his daughter to appease the goddess Artemis and allow his troops safe passing. It mostly revolves around himself and Achilles' conflict over killing her, with Agamemnon seeing no other option and Achilles defending the poor girl. In the end, it's Iphigenia herself who decides to be sacrificed, realising choosing the way she dies will set in stone the legacy she'll be remembered by. That's a very broad overview, by the way. I recommend reading the full story. The movie follows a doctor who has a friendship with a young boy named Martin, whose father passed away and he's helping deal with his grief. However, as time passes, various strange phenomena befalls both the doctor and his family as they struggle to figure out what the hell is happening.
It's a slow burn. The real meaty drama doesn't even kick in until around 40 minutes. But trust me, stay with it and you won't be disappointed.
Dad, my legs, they're numb. I can't move them. I can't stand up.
The soundtrack? Fuck me, it's good. The way the film looks and sounds only heightens the panic you feel while watching it. It's never something that sounds in key, a tune you can latch onto, or anything you'd want to listen to in your off time.
It's off-putting, but in the best way.
That goes just as much for the visuals. Everything is shot slowly, a lot of the time far away, to express the desolation the characters are under. The film has a really otherworldly feel because of this, almost like it's taking place in a dimension far from our own.
Do you have many friends?
Not that many. I don't think people can have a lot of friends. I mean, it's difficult.
The way Yorgos Lanthimos directs dialogue is both the strangest yet most compelling way to speak I've ever encountered. Here, everyone has the same disjointed yet hypnotic flow to their speaking patterns. It was the same in The Favourite and The Lobster, where people's inflections and speech are so stilted, almost like those robots that have conversations with each other online. It just adds more to the uneasy nature of this type of film. Like, even the characters themselves are uncomfortable with their existence, knowing their purpose is to be horrified for an audience's amusement.
People often have an issue with films when they're weird, or are put off by films like this because of the lack of connections to root it into our reality.
The film is intensely unsettling because so much of it is unexplained. It isn't afraid of not giving you any answers and being a dire viewing experience. It's the purest form of horror, rooted in our fear of the unknown and the thought of being powerless against an unseen force. It leaves us as a viewer squirming in our seat because we're so used to being in control of our reality. That's why it's so effective, because a lot of it is so unexplained and therefore you're all the more frightened. These are deeply upsetting things to happen to the man's family, and he and ourselves are seemingly powerless to do anything about it. When the movie does abruptly reveal the truth, it hits you like a punch to the gut. It somehow becomes even more disturbing and scary when you realise what's going on, and even then it leaves a lot to your imagination how exactly it's happening. Why do we fear death? Because we don't know what happens after. Why does the dark scare us? We don't know what's in it. The terror of the unknown is the scariest aspect to life, and this is what the movie expertly exploits.
It's a movie that understands that the most terrifying things we can think of lie in our own imagination.
What it's like when your head cracks open and your brains blow out.
Don't shoot him.
And then... Shut up!
Shoot me, then what? Answer!
I'll bury you in the yard! And you'll rot. That's what.
However, it also understands you need a narrative to grasp onto too, and each of the characters are intertwined with their own conflicts and struggles. I was highly invested in their personal problems, and while it is all very bleak and soaked in one hell of a neon atmosphere, it still finds time to not be so grim to the point it's off-putting. I found it super unpredictable, and even scenes like when Nicole Kidman looks seconds away from blowing Billy Keogh here to bribe him, it doesn't happen. It not only goes against cliche, it even subverts expectations when it seems destined to go down a certain path. All the acting is superb, but Billy Keogh is spectacular in this role. He's what I imagine creepiness to be personified. Without giving too much away, he's a character with a lot of power, and despite being a wee boy, he's fiercely intimidating. Everyone else is just as committed, especially in the desperation in Colin Farrell's performance as he gets angrier and more ferocious to those around him, cutting through the laid-back conversational style like a ship through ice. Everything from the visuals, the soundtrack, the dialogue, the narrative, it's all perfectly designed to squirm under your skin and ensure you can never agree to its terms. It's beautifully crafted horror.
This shit is my jam every day of the week. Abstract, high concept, and deeply horrifying. I recommend this to anyone who's a fan of the horror genre. It's fantastic.